Welcome to the Wi-Fi DK Legends Celestial 3/Grandmaster Comprehensive Captain America Guide, how to fight every character in the game. Disclaimer on the side, that doesn't mean kill. You're not killing Groot, but it should be really good. We're going to be complete with tier lists for your convenience, clips, like comprehensive tips, step-by-step guides. This is everything you could possibly need to learn how to play this character. This is my competitive account. I have a 58.8% win rate on Captain America across all seasons. It's 178 wins. I'm in Celestial 3 right now, but I usually hover around GM1. But hopefully, keep that up. And I have 302 matches with this character in competitive total, making him my most played by a very large margin, as I am a Captain America main. I'm very passionate about this character. I think he's super fun, provides a lot of value, and I want to share that with you during this presentation. This video is the strategist section of the video. I was originally going to do one video that would be really long. So instead, we're going to split it. Strategists, duelists, vanguards. Today is strategists. So generally, strategists. I just want to get a couple things out on the table before we get into characters. Is that a lot of people think, and also teammates will think this as well, that to be winning, you need to kill people. That's not always true. If you are keeping the healers busy or scaring them, if you are enough of a force that really scaring them should be underlined. If you are scaring them to the point where they are giving up sightlines or priority on their tanks because of your mere presence, that is winning. You're allowing your team to do the heavy lifting after that by disrupting. So disrupting is really good. Baiting ultimate is also really good. There's going to be a lot of times you can't quite kill a Rocket or a Mantis, but if you scare them enough into pressing Q in a time where their team's not, like, they don't want it, then that's huge. Because especially if you look at, like, this season, like Storm ult and Punisher ult, they're absurd. The only way to counter them is a healer ult. So if you take out, like, a Luna Mantis ult, something like that, when your Punisher's not ulting, that's crazy. So remember, that is winning. This allows your teammates to push and get picks. The other thing you can do is you can get a pick. But this isn't going to happen all the time. You're not going to have the highest KOs ever on Captain America and high elo. It's just not going to happen. That's okay. But getting a pick is awesome. Even better. How to win? Be scary. Also, always have your uptime up. Be a threat. You want the healers to be worried about you 24/7. And you want to pop up in places they don't expect, at timings they don't expect, while you're keeping track of their stuff. How you lose. Useless dives. This is underlined because I really want to explain this a little bit more. A useless dive is something like jumping on an Adam Warlock and not even getting soul bond out. Or not even getting him to heal because you chose such a bad time. Maybe there's a Punisher with a shotgun next to him and he just blows your head off. And maybe you don't even die, but you just don't get anything done. That's like useless uptime. You want uptime that has a result. So if you get Adam soul bond because he's scared, that's a result. That's a win for you. That's keeping them busy, scaring them, baiting something. That's good. And it's all about uptime. You want to be in their heads and on the field as much as you possibly can be. That is how you win as this character. Tunnel visioning is also really bad because if you tunnel vision on a dive, then you're not protecting your team. And if there's like a Strange ult or like a Magneto ult and you're just not worried about it because you're fighting a support, you might let one of your teammates die when you could have shielded them. And that's very important. Ignoring cooldowns is also bad. If you don't pay attention to strategists and what cooldowns they have off cooldown, your value is so much less. So like if you don't know when Cloak or /Dagger has their healing bubble, that's not good. That means you're going to get a useless dive in as opposed to waiting for them to use it or baiting it and then coming back and handling it like that. Dying is also bad, even trading most of the time. Remember, if you trade, chances are you killed somebody first because you're the diver. That means they're going to be respawning before you. And that's more time that you'll be away from your team. Trading is generally bad in most situations. General strategist tips. These are going to be absolutely huge against most strategists in the game. Most strategists in the game have like one or two escape options that are like horizontal or vertically based. You have two abilities off cooldown being slam and your F dash. You want to try to conserve those movement options if you can. If you can't, that's okay. Like you can engage with slam. There's going to be some characters I'm going to talk to you about that I think that's the best way to engage. There's going to be some that aren't. And conserving that can be good for chasing that dash. Like say if Rocket has one dash charged, like you might want to keep your F dash because you can just follow him. Stuff like that, yeah. So basically having those conserved allows you another option to chase supports that are running away. This is the biggest tip in the video, probably. Target the strategist that is better at supporting the other strategists. So if you're looking at, and we'll get into this in depth on each strategist, but if you're looking at like Adam and Luna, Adam's E is impossible for you to burst through. You can't do it. And there's two of them. And the healing jumps from one. Don't even try it. So if you see Adam and Luna, jump on Adam. Because Luna can heal, but chances are it might hit you and do damage instead, or she'll miss Adam. Adam can't miss his E. And it just burst heals like 150 health. So like if you see Adam and Luna, you shouldn't be trying to dive the Luna first. You're just not going to kill her. And also, Adam gets like very easy healing. He doesn't even have to like concern himself with you. He can just look over and press E. So yeah, if you have two strategists and one is really good at healing the other one, dive that one. Don't dive the one that is going to be healed there. Try to cut off line of sight between strategists and vanguards. This is huge. If you cut off line of sight between strategists and vanguards, half of the strategists in this game heal by shooting them, and it'll hit you instead. And that's damage that you can tank. I have a clip to show this off. That's damage that you can tank that is not getting healed on their vanguard. So that's like a Doctor Strange dying. That's, this, that, or the other. Here's a clip showing this. Basically, this is Emma, right? And it should be around here. Emma's got pretty good health, and I'm chasing the Cloak and the Ultron both away, and then we isolate Emma, and she dies. So, watch that again. It's nothing complicated at all. I can pause the spacebar. I'm seeing that Cloak is in this doorway, and so is Rocket Orbs. And I'm getting in this doorway so that they cannot see their Emma. And now I'm even holding up my shield, so if there's something that goes by me, it might even get hit backwards. And then Emma just dies so easily. She burned ult there as well. So that's huge for the team. And that's something that you want to be doing generally, is that you have the HP and your shield to get in between their tank and their supports, and then their tank is just being heal starved. And you don't care about that damage. So yeah, that's also a very important tip if you're going to fight a Vanguard. And that's very disruption. Okay, this is another thing. A lot of caps don't do this. Think about the location of the strategist you're going to jump on and how you would escape. So say, if you're on Midtown on the first point, in between the two, you're on the road in between the two buildings, and you're diving a Cloak, you know exactly what they want to do. They're either they're going to Cloak dash into the building, or they're going to Cloak dash onto the roof. How are you getting there? You should already be thinking about that before you jump on Cloak. You should look at Cloak and say, okay, the payload's right there. If they jump up to the skyscraper, I can jump on the payload and then up there and finish them off. Because they're going to run away from you. They're not going to let you just beat them up on the ground. So that's also a big deal. And we'll get into that with each character as well. This is a tip for me at the end. This is also a lot up to preference. And also, let me turn off my webcam for a second so you can actually read that. There we go. Because they can mostly heal themselves, I'd like to finish kills with E because it's the best burst damage option that you have. And if you don't finish with E, then you just risk throwing it out and then just not having it. And a lot of times when you're running away from a dive, like say you're fighting, I don't know, Loki, and you throw E at first, then you don't have E. But if you can't get him down to where E would kill anyway, then you have to like disengage because maybe you got Loki runes or something like that. You can look at the team as you're running away and throw an E at somebody who's low. You never know what your team's doing. I play with a Moon Knight, and very often I'm disengaging, and he's gotten somebody like 30 health, and I'll just throw the shield over there, and boom, there's a kill for the team. So keep that in mind. I like to conserve E unless it's going to kill somebody. All right, we're going to go over how much priority every healer has, and with tier lists and detailed guides here. Like, very detailed stuff. But this is how I define it. You might disagree with me. That's okay. My first one is that golden rule I told you about, how good they are at supporting the other support. If they're really good at healing the other one, kill them, because that weakens the other one so much. How easy they are to kill themselves. So take Jeff, right? Jeff is really good at healing the other healer when Cap's diving. He can't heal himself, and now he can't run away. He used to be able to be impossible to kill. Now he's medium difficulty. He's not hard anymore. So like that makes Jeff a pretty high priority target because he's not hard to kill, and you get a lot of value for killing him. As a diver, you kill one, disengage, go back for the other, and now they're super weak. And then positioning. Obviously, you don't want to jump on somebody who's standing right next to a Punisher who's looking at you. That's bad. Or you don't want to, like, there's no reason to jump on Rocket if he's, like, next to a wall on Clintar, because it's just going up to the ceiling. You'll never see him again. So, yeah, you need to think about strategists and where they're standing. Generally, open fields or tight corridors are very easy for Cap to kill people on. Stuff that's, like, really vertical is a little bit harder. You can't really make that vertical distance sometimes. But, keep that in mind. And then if you need to bait an ultimate, then throw away the golden rule and hit that one. Just scare them. Just scare them. So, like, I wouldn't say Mantis is the highest priority target, but she's got ult. Jump on her. She will get scared, and she might press Q. So, like, this is a rocket I probably wasn't going to kill. But I got to remember exactly how this clip looks. Oh, yeah, I'm not coming anywhere close to killing this guy. Because he's in his whole team, he's got Emma next to him. And so I'm jumping on the rocket. And, like, he's not low health there. And he uses ult because you scare him. And so if you can jump on somebody that you know has ult and you can do that, absolutely huge for the team. Because, like, again, no need for him to pop ult here. No need at all. And he pops ult, and boom. That's obviously not a good time. My team's not even pressuring their team. Not even pressuring their team. And, you know, you can force an ult like that. So, yeah, definitely adjust priority if somebody has an ult. Adam is the highest priority. You want this guy off the field. And he's also not that hard to kill. You just have to engage twice. It takes 2 engagements to beat Adam. So, his E ability and Soul Bond eliminates your value if he has them up. So if you dive the other... I have that underlined because if you dive the other healer, Adam is just going to snap at them twice, and he will outlast you every single time. His team will burst you down if you try to beat somebody through that. You are banging your head against the wall. Same thing with Soul Bond. As soon as Soul Bond comes out, unless Adam has like 50 HP or less, you are banging your head up against the wall by hitting him. His team is basically invincible in terms of Cap's damage output. Disengage, come back when it's over. So he also has a high damage output. Keep that in mind when you're diving him. He can put, if he lands a couple headshots, he can put some damage into you. And then keep in mind, track these cooldowns. 6 seconds. That's Adam's time. 6 seconds for everything. So if you get an E out and a Soul Bond, then in 6 seconds, he probably only has 1 E. He might have 2. But he doesn't have Soul Bond anymore. So keep that in mind. Because Soul Bond is going to be your main kicker when it comes to diving Adam himself. You need to outlast Soul Bond, disengage, come back. And that'll be in the step-by-step on the next slide. He can't run away. And forcing Soul Bond is a win. That is awesome. If you get Soul Bond out, that's basically an ultimate, man. If you get Soul Bond out when it's not a good time, huge. Great job. Get out. You basically killed the support. Alright, things to think about. Is he shooting at you? This is a big deal. If you're jumping from behind him, you're going to take a lot less damage than if you jump from in front of him and he's focusing you. Because if he does his left click, right click, left click, right click, you're going to take 400 damage before you know it. And then just keep in mind, if you've seen Soul Bond, it's very easy to see Soul Bond. Soul Bond is such an easy thing to see. Everybody glows yellow. So just keep that in mind. It has like a 30-second or 45-second cooldown. I don't even know. It's super long. So for your purposes, that's easy. Step by step. This is a recommendation. There are modifications that can happen. The clip I'm going to show you doesn't follow it exactly, but it's pretty close. I would personally engage without slam because Adam can't run away from you. So getting the drop on him is not always super necessary. You can kind of just jump on him. Or you can kind of just run up to him and hold shield and he can't do anything to you most of the time. Once you get Soul Bond out, you're going to beat him up a little bit. Get out. Get out immediately, disengage, find a health pack, you have time. These 5 seconds is all about you just making sure that you have health for the next push. And then I would jump up in the air, if you can still see him, and slam on the 6th second, get back in there and maximize your uptime as much as you can. But that doesn't have to be perfect. Just get back in when it doesn't have Soul Bond. This is kind of what I was just saying. He probably only has like 1 E if he's been healing his team, as well as healed himself when you jumped on him. So just beat him up. He can't run away. The other healer might be healing him, but you can probably burst through it because he can't heal himself much anymore, and you just beat him up and you kill him. And then this is the important part. When you kill him, don't chase his res like 90-80% of the time. Because he's probably going to high ground that you can't even chase to anyway, or he's going to a spot where his team is just going to cover him. So if you waste your time and health like chasing that, then you're going to die, and then he'll respawn and you lose. Instead, you got his respawn out. Good job. If he respawns safely, he's not going to have Soul Bond. You just do this again. Or, while he's dead, your team probably runs them over because they're down to 1 healer and a lot less damage up. So now we're going to look at this step-by-step in action. I have a great Adam Warlock clip from last night from my stream, which you should check out. And, okay, so that's actually quite a long clip. I didn't realize. So I'm kind of sharking around the back line here. And again, the Celestial Lobby. Adam sees me, so that's important to keep in mind. Look at Adam. He's looking directly at me. He's charging right click. It's a lot of damage. I'm going to raise up shield for that. It actually did a little bit of damage to him. This, I go against my god a little bit. What happens if I... Okay, it goes 10 seconds if I do that. Okay, well. Anyway. So, I'm going to here... Does a little bit of damage. I'm going to use Slam because I see a good opportunity and I needed the extra damage. As soon as I see that Soul Bond, as soon as I notice these Soul Bonds, like... There's Soulbond. I got one more hit in because he's right there, and I'm disengaging, going straight for a health pack. There wasn't one. That's fine. At this point, Soulbond is over, and he only has like one E left because he's already used E once. I don't have Slam, and this is why I say keep Slam because you can jump on him so much faster. Freest kill ever. He has one E. Rocket's healing him. It doesn't matter. You burst him. And then this allows me... Adam's reviving himself right now. Notice I'm not chasing him. I'm killing another support because they're disrupted. So I kill Rocket... Adam respawns. Who cares? They're down to support. At this point, I get out. And this is kind of funny looking because I was pressing my stream deck to record it, but I just get out and I end up getting out of that. But that is basically the game plan on Adam. If you just do 2 engagements and you get Soulbond on the first, Adam is dead. He can't do anything. However, if you're fighting another support, Adam is super alive. And actually, I can show you an example of that using the same clip, and that's what I should do. This is why Adam is a high priority target. Because after Adam is dead and he respawns, I'm then going to go for the cloak. See how she's half health? I think I can get a kill here and ignore the mag bubble. Adam just pressed E. You can see his hand. She's at full health again. And that's why you dive Adam first. If I had dove cloak at first, it would have been extremely pointless and not helpful. But instead, I dived Adam and got the 2 engagement kill, and I've just helped my team out a lot. That is how you fight Adam Warlock. Ask me questions if you need them. And then let's get back into this. I think Cloak is next. Cloak is a complicated one. She is a little bit harder. She has lots of self-sustain and a high ground escape. And we already kind of talked about that. But if you skip this section, then just think about where Cloak is and if they can swap into Cloak and if they have their Cloak jump. Because if they have the Cloak jump, they can go much higher than you and you can't chase that. So you can always jump in and bait it out and then just run. But like... A lot of times, you know, if there's high ground next to them, they might not be the best dive target, so that's important to consider. Self-sustain, this actually links to this other underline thing. 12 seconds is your timeline on Cloak and Dagger. So, Cloak Escape is pretty good. Most of the time you can chase it. Again, the high ground's not easy. Healing Bubble is really good against Captain America. You outdamage it, but not if you miss a single time with your punching. You do outdamage it if you keep punching her, but it is slow and grinding. It is not easy. So if you see Bubble come out, that'll be covered on the next slide. Like the 3 things that I think you could try to do there. But basically, once it's out, you should use that 8 or so seconds and capitalize. If she doesn't have Bubble, she's a sitting duck most of the time. It can actually be treated very similar to Adam, where it can be a 2 engagement thing. Yeah, her effectiveness healing other dive targets relies on Bubble. She's either really good at supporting other dive targets or really bad at it. If she doesn't have Bubble and you jump on the other diving targets, chances are her healing is going to hit you, not even healing. Basically a non-factor. That's what we just saw in that Adam clip I showed you. Because she was healing Adam. Trying to. If she has Bubble and she can throw it at the other healer's ground, you're done. You're not doing anything. Go ahead and disengage and then get back in there after the 12 seconds. You need to think about healing Bubble. And you can think about Cloak Step as well, but mostly healing Bubble. Because Cloak Step, you can follow it. And which character are they currently? If they're currently playing Dagger, you're going to get the Bubble. If they're currently playing Cloak, you're going to get the Cloak. And then they might swap after that, but at the beginning, you need to consider that. I personally find it a lot easier to jump on Cloak. Because the Cloak Step is not as bad, and then they're so low, the healing Bubble might not save them when they swap afterwards. That is totally up to your preference, though. Just keep that in mind. Step by step. This is actually going to be 2 separate slides because it's 2 characters. Alright, let's say it's Cloak. I say you slam on them. Keep the Cloak Escape, in your mind. If they have it, that's okay. Punch them twice and then block. The darkness rectangle thing that makes you take more damage and blinds you means disengage immediately. That thing destroys you. So if you, they're going to use it as soon as you jump, as soon as they realize you're on them as well. That's why I recommend you punch twice, hold up the shield. If you block that, then you're going to either force them to cloak dash away, which is big because they're not using it to block an ultimate or something, and it has 12-second cooldown, or you're going to kill them. If they land Darkness Rectangle, you're so done. You're going to get absolutely bursted by their DPS players and Cloak as well. So you need to be very, very careful of Darkness Rectangle. That's why 2A, if you get hit by it, disengage, go back in 12 seconds or less. If you block it, beat them up. If they use Cloak Step, I'm sorry, I don't know what it is called. If basically what's underlined. If you have the HP, continue the interaction. If you don't, disengage and come back. Yes, exactly. And then Dagger. Dagger is more straightforward, but less easy, if that makes sense. Like, Cloak is not hard, it's just a lot of steps. Because you've got to block the rectangle, and you've got to follow the dash, or disengage. There's more like trees to it. This one is a little bit harder, but it's much more simple. Slam and beat them up, they're gonna bubble. They probably won't switch to Dagger if they do, or switch to Cloak. If they do, then just refer to the previous slide. We've got you prepared for that. If they bubble, I basically think you have 3 options. If they're low, keep trying to hit them, and then throw an E and try to direct hit it, and you can get the kill there. It's going to be hard, but you can get the kill there and disengage. If it's taking too long, get out. If they're near full, swap targets, because if you get the bubble, this is important. If you get the bubble, and the other strategist is not in the bubble, Cloak cannot support that strategist very well. Jump on the other strategist, or disengage depending on your HP. Say, like, here's an example. Say you've got Dagger and Mantis, and Dagger uses the bubble on herself, and you just immediately 180 to fighting Mantis. Mantis is done for. She's not getting any healing at that point if you block her stun, but we'll get into that. So, not getting any healing at that point. Any healing at all. And so you absolutely need to capitalize on that kind of thing. If bubble's out, swap targets. Hit the other strategist, because now Cloak cannot effectively support her other strategist. If they're half, that's up to you. You can keep going if you want to try it, but if you miss like once or twice, get out, because they're going to outlast you. And then refer to Cloak section if they swap. On to Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman is up there with Adam for me on highest. Adam, that's because he's like medium difficulty to kill and he has his E and his soul bond. Invisible Woman is because she's medium difficulty to kill and she has her healing shield. Her shield is absurdly good against Captain America. You are not killing somebody if they have the shield, because they can dance around it and you can't do your shield throws. So you can't even DPS fast. And it heals them. It's awful. Shield is so good. Also, if you get gravity pushed away, most of the time, it's going to cause you so much time and draw so much attention to you from her DPS, I recommend disengaging. But it's up to you. If you have a lot of HP left and the interaction basically just got reset and you're still like 600, go crazy, get back in there. But yeah, you don't really want to be gravity pushed away. That's not good. And also, if it's still out, you need to remember that it can pull you back as well, which is really bad for your escape. So remember gravity push. That's an important cooldown. So kind of, I mean, it's hard to track those. It's hard to see when it happens. But if you know it, keep it in mind. Gravity push is very good against Captain America to get her away from you and to absolutely mess you up on your escape. This is huge. And you probably already know this if you play Cap, but if you don't, then, you know. Your regular left-click shield throws, they follow targets, right? Like, they lock on a little bit. They kind of magnetize toward targets. They do that when she's invisible as well. So if you're beating her up, I personally recommend you do it with the shield throws and keep track of where they go if she goes invisible. And a lot of times, she'll go invisible, and while she's flying away, it'll hit her anyway, so then she won't be invisible. That's important to know for this character. If you have the opportunity to throw those shields when you think she's going to run, you need to. Because you can just stop her from going invisible, and then you kill her because she doesn't have any more self-sustain. But yeah, she's outstanding at supporting dive targets. Ridiculously good at it, just like Adam. Think about this is very important with Invisible Woman. Is she close to a teammate when you're going to dive her? If she's close to a teammate, she shields a teammate, she dances around the shield, you can't kill her. You just can't kill her. Where is her shield currently is also important, because if it's already next to her, then that's also a problem, right? But is she close to a teammate is hugely important, because that means she has incredible self-sustain. If she's not close to a teammate, she is a sitting duck. You want to dive that all day. Let's get into my step-by-step. I personally think you slam. You need the element of surprise against this character, otherwise you're getting pushed away. That's very important in this matchup. Punch once or twice until, like, get a little bit of damage in before she's like, oh crap, there's a Captain America on me, I should react to this. Then she's either going to I mean, actually, I think most of the time they gravity push immediately. So you shield. If you block it, it doesn't push you anywhere. She doesn't have push, and she also can't pull you when you're back. So you're still in the engagement. Your survivability just went up. A lot of good things just happened. If she pushes you away, consider disengaging, but you don't have to. If you're still full health, then you can get back in there, and your push is just like a little bit less effective. But beat up using the shield throws. If she jumps and goes invisible, they will follow it, and they will probably reveal her. I just told you that. If she successfully goes invisible, use your E throw to reveal and damage her, because it will bounce on the ground, throw it at the ground, wherever you think she went. It will go find her and reveal her, and then you can take her out. Because at this point, if she already used her jump, she doesn't have any more mobility, and she probably jumped away from her team because people do that a lot, and then the shield's out of play too, so you can just go finish her off. She's got nothing left at that point. Swap targets for 2 seconds. This is a good one. You can play game theory with the Invisible Woman players. If they successfully go invisible, you're like, crap, they were low. I don't know where they went. Dive their other healer. Then they have to do something to heal them. They're not invisible anymore. And then they're probably at like half health. Go burst them off, finish with an E, get out. And that will work really well. That is a really good strategy against this character. And then also, if she successfully goes invisible and you're like, crap, I can't chase that, consider disengaging. Remember, once again, if she's on her own shield, that's hard. Probably do not dive that. Dive somebody she can't see. It can even be a duelist. But if she's on her own shield, not going to kill her. Probably. So I'm running around the point, trying to figure out what to do. I think I got to block a strange hole. I didn't have to. And this is by herself here. This is important to consider. Also, where's my camera? Okay, my camera's not in a bad spot. It's not the greatest spot. So she is by herself, right? So I've looked around the point, and they have one down. Rocket's in the middle. Cloak's in the middle. Rocket ult's about to explode. Strange is in the middle. So that's 3 people on their team. They're on the point. And then Magneto is in front of Invis, and Magneto's not killing Captain America. He has nothing to do with it. So you jump on the Invis. She's healing. It looks like she already used her stuff. She never looked at me. That's important. She never looked at me during that whole interaction. Did not bother looking at me, so I didn't raise shield because I don't have to. I don't need to block a push because she's not looking at me. Right? So then you just beat her up. She doesn't even have an escape option, and you're in the small room. This is where positioning comes in. She's away from teammates in a small room. She can't go anywhere. Nowhere at all. That might have even been an invis jump. I'm not even sure. And then you're going to kill Rocket because now she's not healing Rocket anymore. That was a good kill as well. So, yeah. Isolated from teammates, Invis Woman. Extremely easy to kill. They should never be doing that, but they're going to. And you know how to punish it now. Just jump on them and make them regret that decision. Alright. Jeff the Landshark. Extremely high priority and easy difficulty. He's probably the first character I would dive on in this patch, besides maybe Adam. If he basically has no self-sustain now, because his bubbles don't burst heal anymore. They only overtime heal, and they barely do. You can outburst his bubbles very easily if you're aiming well, or you're just following and punching him. His bubbles don't do anything for him anymore. He also self-sustains in Finn, but he can only do it for 6 seconds, and he's not going to waste all of that, and he's probably already used some of it, so it's very easy to chase Jeff and kill him now. And he's a high priority target because he's really good at supporting other dive targets. His healing stream plus bubble combo, you're never killing anyone. You're not even bothering them. He doesn't even have to aim at you. He can just aim at everything because that's what he does this patch. And then you can't kill anybody, and that's why you want to hop on Jeff. He might even be better than Adam at supporting people. I'm not sure when you're diving them. So definitely consider that. That is very important with Jeff. Everyone thinks Jeff stinks. No, I don't know. He's good against Cap. He's pretty good against Cap if you don't kill him. He has a vertical escape. He can get up walls, but while he's going up a wall, it's pretty slow. You can throw stuff at him. That's important. He has no notable cooldowns at all. You do not care about Jeff's cooldowns at all. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to use one brand to think about it. What is important to think about, is he close to a wall? That's going to open up that vertical escape. That's important. Is he busy? This might sound kind of funny because I don't have this for every healer, but the difference is Jeff, if he's like right-clicking, he's in N-lag. Those moves put him in a lot of N-lag, and so does healing, and so does bubbling. If you jump on him when he's in N-lag, he can't bubble himself and then swim away as fast. So you can just burst Jeff before he can even like physically do something about it if you do it at the right time. So if you see him doing like, especially right-clicks the biggest one, jump on him. You can just kill him easily. He will not. You will have half his health gone before he can act. It's crazy. And then, yeah, burst quickly with cooldowns, like I was just saying, at a good timing, or prepare for a chase. Usually, Jeff doesn't go towards his team. He usually runs away from his team, which makes your job easier. Step by step, slam, beat him up. This is a very simple one. If he's going a horizontal escape, use your F dash and hit him with it as well. That's free damage, and it'll catch up. Then you just keep sprint punching. Sprint, like hold sprint and punch, like with the melee button. It's so easy. You can't miss because it's melee. If you feel like you can aim, then use the shield throws. But dude, just sprint punch him and he will die. Finish him off with the E3 shield throw. You don't even have to direct hit it. Just sit on the ground next to him, and it will hit the fin. And there you are. It's very simple. Luna, high and easy difficulty. Luna is probably the easiest support to kill. She has basically no self-sustain unless she's doing her left shift, but like she's not going to, or if she is, it's still not much. Her stun is really good, but it's really easy to counter. Like, incredibly easy for you to counter. We're going to go through that. She's not great at supporting dive targets besides Snowflake, but like, who cares about Snowflake? It's not really that crazy because she's not going to see somebody being dived and Snowflake them and then to heal somebody else. It's just, she's not going to. So instead, she'll shoot at you and she'll hit you probably instead of the tiny support because you're a big man with a shield. So then you take a little bit of damage and they don't get healed. So she's not good at supporting targets. That's why she's not highest priority, is because chances are the other support can heal her better than she can heal them. And so that would make your job a lot harder. She has no notable cooldowns, like kind of Snowball, but it's reactable. We'll go over that. So like Snowball doesn't really matter. Her ult, obviously, but she also can't run away because your slam interrupts Ice Skate. It's hilarious. If they try to Ice Skate away, you slam on it, and then it gets popped up in the air, and she's in the air and slow again. So she cannot run away from you under, like, any circumstance. So she's extremely easy to kill. But yeah, keep in mind, with her, can I force an ult here? Because her ult is the best support ult, like, by far. Lasts 12 seconds. So if you can force her ult when it's a bad time for a team, that's the most value out of any support there is. And she's so easy to kill, and her ult gives her overshield. They are dying to press Q if you jump on them. So do that. If you jump on them and then you block the snowball, oh my god, they're pressing Q every single time. And you just absolutely wasted one of their support ults. That's huge. Think about her hand animations. Figure out what she's doing. And that is because of the next slide, and we're going to go over this. And like, it's pretty simple. It's not too much detail, but don't slam because you want that for the runaway. Unless you feel like you can burst her, that's fine. Beat her up and watch her hands. The whole time you should be staring at her hands. Because when she uses snowball, she's going to do this. And it takes that long. It's like, right? So her hands are going to go from like doing this, or doing this, to doing... And when you see her hands go in a circle at all, you hold shield. And you stare directly at her and you hold shield. You will block the snowball. And it will either just not hit you, or it might even freeze her. Easiest kill of your life. I have a lot of clips of this. You've probably seen them in my cap montages. Very simple game plan. You just have to stare at her hands. It's that easy. Luna can do absolutely nothing to you when you dive her if you stare at her hands. If you get frozen, you need to disengage afterwards, but you should basically never be getting frozen. Yeah, I've got two clips right here. I remember this one. This was actually in the montage. So this, I don't know why it's so dark. But, alright, so I see Luna here. See how she's skating? I'm going to interrupt it because she's already skating. And this is what happens. She gets popped up. She panics. You're immediately going to see that. And you can see right here, I react to it. I hold up shield as soon as I see her hands go up. She freezes herself. This is before I even know how to animation cancel. Easiest kill of my life, dude. Now there's nobody to support them. You just clean up. It's that easy to kill Luna. It is that easy. She can't do anything. She can't do anything at all. If you just block that, it's over. That's it. What is this other Luna clip? Thanos is here. Alright, so this is a clip from last night's stream. I probably shouldn't have slammed there, but it doesn't matter. This time I was kind of tired, so I didn't even try to react to it. I just, like, you know it's coming because they don't have another option to get you off. It's only snowballs. So I was like, okay, I've hit them twice. They're going to snowball. You do that. Direct hit with E. It's over. It's so easy. And now our team has one less support. And I'm also only at like 600 health. I'm still doing great. All right, Mantis. High priority, medium difficulty. She has a really good stun. This is not like Snowball. Blocking Mantis stun is really difficult. This is a difficult one. She's not hard to kill, which is why she's not high difficulty, but she is if she has that stun. Chances are with the stun, though, it doesn't really freeze you for as long as Snowball does when people also shoot at it. I don't know. Generally, you can get out of that stun. Or you can just, like, be tricky and maybe not get hit by it. But the splash damage is pretty bad because she doesn't have to throw it at you. She can throw it to the ground next to you. And that's important. We'll get into that in the step-by-step process. Because there is a way to counter it, but it's not as easy as Luna where you just hold up a shield. She also has high damage, so keep that in mind. If she's like damage boosting herself, she dinks you like twice, oh my goodness, you're going to take 400 damage, so you need to get out. If she's damaging you a lot, and that's why you're not going to tunnel vision, you're going to look at your health. Her healing over time when she's supporting dive targets is annoying, but it's not really like a game changer. It basically, like, if you're doing everything right, you should have to hit them like one extra time, maybe two. So it's something to consider, but not really a big deal. The thing that does make it decent is that you can, like, she can do it through you, or she doesn't have to shoot, so you can't block it, and they might already be being healed. Terrible self-sustain, basically non-existent. It's like the healing over time on herself, but it's nothing, so it doesn't really matter. She cannot run away at all. And her stun is a 15-second cooldown. You need to keep track of that, because her stun is definitely a thorn in the side for Cap, as compared to Luna, where you just block it every time. Alright, can I force ult? She has no way to run away from you and no self-sustain. She will press Q if you scare her. And her Q instantly heals her, so she knows she can't die through it. So, you can force Mantis ults all day long, man. It's so easy. So easy. Same thing as Luna. Has she used her stun recently? When you're playing, you should watch for a big pink flare. It's a big pink explosion, you can't miss it, and then you have 15 seconds to free reign jump on Mantis, and she can't do anything about it. Let's hit the step-by-step. Ideally, you wait until she stuns, you see the pink flare, and then you go in. But if she conserves it, then you want to slam as close as possible to Mantis. You want to basically, you are limiting, and this, actually, I'll say this after step 2, sprint into her and hold shield, be as close as possible. You can throw in a couple punches if you're feeling confident, or you can literally just hold up shield and scare them. You want to limit Mantis's field of view to the ground as much as possible. So if you are 5 feet away from Mantis, then you're like here, and the ground is everywhere else, right? Whereas if you are in Mantis's face, like touching the character model, you are this, and maybe there's this much of space that she can throw it that isn't you. That's good. You hold up shield, and it'll block, but you have to be on them. You have to be like in contact, and they can't hit the ground with the stun. They will stun themselves. Easiest kill of your life after that, because it will stun them every single time if you reflect it. So that's why I'm saying reflect stun or disengage if you get stunned. Beat her up. So again, simple. Just like Jeff game plan, simple, not extremely easy. Or it's like a dagger rather. I definitely have a Mantis clip in here, maybe even 2. Yeah, I have 1. So she's gonna be over here. Yeah. All right, perfect. So we're beating up some people. She's by herself, right? So she has no self-sustain here. I actually messed up because she jukes me here, but I'm still pretty close to her. And her stun hits me. She's stunned. Easiest kill of my life after that. Boom. And then you get out, or I don't know why I'm fighting Thor. You get the idea. So what I should have been doing here, and I got lucky. I did. I should have been sprinting into her, and I started doing it, but I was a little bit late. But that's basically what it looks like. Albeit not a perfect version, but regardless, still, like, that will work. And that's going to get you your Mantis kill. Loki, high priority, high difficulty. He's high priority. It's because he's pretty good at supporting his teammates, but it all depends on his positioning, and we're going to get into that. High difficulty. He basically has 3 escape options. You can limit it to 2 if you're very smart. But 2 of them are still a big deal, so we're going to get into that. But yeah, he's hard to kill. He's very hard to kill. But he's not quite as hard as Ultron. I'd probably say it'll be on my tier list for sure, but off the top of my head, he's probably the second hardest to kill. Maybe third after Cloak. I'm not sure. Anyway, so when you're fighting Loki, just a general note, most of the time when you're playing Captain America, you want to punch, punch, shield, 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 because it's faster and does more damage. Not with Loki. When you're fighting Loki, you just want to punch the whole time, because one of the first things he will probably panic to, actually, I can't even say that. He has 3 different options. One of them is to make himself invisible and leave a decoy where he's standing. If you're meleeing, it has enough splash damage to where you'll hit real Loki and he'll reveal himself. So that's how you invalidate one of his escape options. If you're using shields, you will hit the decoy every time, and you don't know which direction he went, so then you have to burn your E to find him again. But you don't need to do that. You can just punch, 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 and then you start throwing shields once he doesn't have that as an option anymore, if he uses it. Now, that might not even be the first thing that he uses, but if he does use it, then you want to make sure you're punching so you catch the real Loki, and then you can keep following him, if that makes sense. You feel free to ask questions if you need to. No self-sustain at all besides runes. He cannot heal himself. Even if he has decoy shooting at him, he cannot heal himself. Which is important because if he's out of cooldowns, he's very easy to kill. Very easy to kill if he runs out of cooldowns because he cannot heal himself. Unless he has Loki runes, that's a problem. That's basically soul bond. If he's on high ground, he's incredible at supporting dive targets. So say you're on, I'm going to keep using Midtown. If you're on Midtown first point and he's on a roof with 2 decoys, and you decide that you're never going to dive somebody underneath that roof, you have to go for Loki first. Because if you dive somebody, he just gets 3 magic missiles. It's damaging you a lot, and it's hitting them with so much healing, you're just not going to kill them. You're absolutely not going to kill them. So if he's on high ground, you have to go for him first, or you're just wasting your time. You might as well swap characters. If he's on low ground, he's really bad at supporting dive targets because they are going to be frantically moving to avoid you, and he's not going to hit them. Or they're going to be jumping, they're going to be running into a room, they're going to be doing whatever they can to get away from you. He's not good at healing them in that situation most of the time. But if he has decoys up high, that's hard. Definitely fight Loki first. So, actually, I could move him up to highest priority. He's a very high priority target. Another note, Loki runes take 3 hits to break. You can also use the Loki clones and runes to get your shield throws, so that's nice. If you play your cards right, you can get a little bit of a higher damage output. Loki runes taking 3 hits, it really stinks. Like, Ankh only takes 2. 2 would be so much smoother. But yeah, so if he places runes and you choose to stay in the fight, that's 3 extra hits that you've got to do, so just keep that in mind. What you need to think about when you're fighting Loki. Where are his clones? And are they chaseable? So he can only have 2. There's 2 clones. You need to figure out where his clones are before you jump on Loki. Be like, okay, that one's over there on that roof. I can't chase that one. It's too high. That one is just on the ground over there. I can chase that one. I can use a slam or an F to get to that one if he teleports. So then, the next note, think about what direction he's facing while you're diving in. Because he's going to choose an option. And if you're punching, you've already got one of them covered. Then runes is another one that there's no way to cover that. And the other one is teleport. And he has to do it the way he's facing. So, if you know where the clones are already, because you already looked at it, and then he teleports, and you saw he was facing to the left, you know where he went. And then you can say, okay, high ground, I'm just going to disengage. I'll get him in a minute when he's off cooldowns. Or low ground, oh my goodness, I'm going to go get him because all he has now is runes. He has no options. Very easy to kill at that point. And that's why I don't have him as high as difficulty. You can game this. You can outsmart the Loki, but that is what it takes. Can I bait ult? This is a big deal with Loki because ult fully heals him and he can't heal himself. So, and also it's the best ult in the game. So, if you scare him enough to where he doesn't have any more cooldowns you're beating up, he might even copy the wrong character. I've had times where Loki copies Captain America and then chases me. He's getting absolutely no value from that. Absolutely huge if you can get one of those pulled. You should be trying to do that all day. Absolutely all day. If you can. So, yeah, getting Loki to ult is huge. He might not even ult the right person. He might do it at a really bad time. Huge. If you can tell when he teleports, track that. Especially if he teleports when you're diving him, then you need to track that. If you see him teleport, otherwise, keep track. Loki runes, so easy. 30 second. It's basically the same thing as Soul Bond. If you see Loki runes, you have 30 seconds to dive Loki in a weakened state. That's huge because Loki runes shut you down. We'll get We'll get by that on the step-by-step, which actually is 3 slides. So, quick disclaimer. Making a step-by-step guide is really hard because he has 3 different things you can do in different orders. But this will be like a general thing. And you should have 2 engagements on Loki. Him and Adam and Cloak are like 2 engagement characters. I really should make a list about that too. Yeah, they're 2 engagement characters. Yeah. So I would not slam or dash because you're going to need those to follow clones or to catch up with him once he has revealed himself or once you reveal him when he's invisible. Only punches, we already went over that. If he tries to go invisible, your punches will probably catch him. We went over that. Then you can try to finish him off. If he teleports, we already went over this as well. Determine if it's chaseable, look at your HP, look at their team's response to you. Up to you. And then you can use one of your 2 movement options. Always save 1 to get out, but yeah, you can use one of 2. If he uses runes, this is the biggest one here. If there's only 1 and their team is not bursting you, beat it up and keep fighting him. If there's 2, just get out. Like, you just can't do it. That's 6 different hits for you. It's not going to happen. But then that's why you do the 2 engage. Because then when you go back, he only has invis and teleport. Easy. And if he also teleports and then runes because he's like panicking, he only has invis. He's basically a sitting duck at that point. So, baiting runes in a bad time is a win. Yeah, just like Soulbond. Loki's very similar to Adam, albeit a little bit harder. So yeah, basically game plan with Loki, get rid of his cooldowns and then come back. Get rid of his cooldowns, get out, come back, and always keep track of which ones he has left because that's going to be how you deal with them. And also, I've given you a strategy that completely throws 1 out of the equation. So he has 2, basically, that are hard to deal with. And if you're being cognizant of where his clones are, then you're going to be just fine. Rocket Raccoon used to be very high difficulty, like highest difficulty. Not anymore. His dash nerfs have given him a massive nerf escaping from Cap. He's high priority because he's pretty good at supporting other targets and not terribly difficult to kill. And he's very easy to disrupt because his escape option makes it much harder for him to heal his team. Because he's going to have to run away from you vertically, and then he can't shoot at the same time he climbs. He has to like stop climbing, which then you can get a hit in during that time. Yeah, Rocket's a good one to dive, basically. And no, this is not like a specific matchup thing. Most Rocket Mans are way too comfortable around Captain America. I don't know why, they just don't think that you can kill them. Use that to your advantage. They're going to position like dummies sometimes, and you can burst them very quickly. They should always be on high ground. If they're playing Rocket, they should always be on high ground. They won't be, because they're not afraid of you. Use that. They're wrong. Also, just keep in mind, Cap is one of the best characters at destroying Beacon because he has a ton of health and really fast. Rocket has 2 dashes and a 10-second cooldown on each. You can, general rule, you can follow 1 dash, but not 2. 2 is generally too far for Cap to get to. If he uses 2, probably disengage. If he has 1, chance it. Go beat him up if you can, if you still have HP. You can definitely follow 1. Remember that shield throws track. So if he's like climbing up on a wall and you hit like within like a foot of him, it will probably hit him anyway. So when you're shooting at him, you really want to focus on aiming. If he's climbing up a wall, he's incredible at supporting dive targets because his healing orbs are always happening and like to me more effective than Mantis. And because if it direct hits them, then it does an instant 50, which is 2 of your hits, which is bad because he can do orb. So he's a good one to disrupt and then maybe switch targets as well. That is totally up to you. But yeah, his healing orbs can make it difficult to dive people sometimes. It just depends on his positioning. If he can easily direct hit them, keep that in mind. I don't know if incredible is the right word. I'd probably say he's good at it, but yeah. When you're fighting Rocket, if you surprise him and you're in front of him, you can reflect his healing orb and use it yourself, which is crazy because it travels so slowly. You can outrun it, at least almost. I don't know, but like if you reflect it, it's going to be in the direction Rocket is, and then you just keep running into it, and you're constantly healing yourself while you fight him. It's hilarious. It's awesome. It's a great way to increase your sustainability, and you're diverting heals. That orb is no longer healing his team. Another underlying thing that's important, his climb boost tech where he grabs a wall and then immediately rockets or dashes goes way too far for you most of the time. So you want to try to engage Rocket when he's not near a wall, or engage him with Slam because it pops him up, and then he's not like able to just hop on the wall easily. His movement will be disrupted. So disrupting Rocket's movement is very good because his wall jumps are crazy. All right. Think about, are there walls around, and are they short or are they high? So like Clintar middle point, you can scale those walls. That's not a problem. Clintar first point, he's gone. You're never going to see him again. So keep that in mind. It's probably not worth diving on him if he's like right next to a wall and it's really high. Track his dashes. You can chase one, not two. Is Rocket in a spot where he can heal his team while running away? That's important too. If you find him on his way back from spawn, that's a lot better than if you find him like on the Clintar walls with an open point where you can heal all of them anyway. Then you're not really getting much value by diving Rocket. You're better off diving the other support and letting Rocket heal them. So yeah, definitely keep in mind where Rocket is, the geometry of his orbs, stuff like that. This one is relatively simple, but hard because it's mechanically difficult, not conceptually difficult. Engage with Slam to disrupt his movement. This is going to be your best chance to kill him is at the beginning. You want to get as much damage as you possibly can before he can get to a wall or burst away. And you don't want him to get to a wall and burst away because it's too far. So if you're not using Slam, block an orb for yourself like we went over. Get punches and then shield throw him. Just aim at him and try to play like hella against him, basically. I wouldn't try to use your sprint canceling tech because it makes it harder to aim. Just literally, if you want to, stand still and just, probably not stand still, but just walk towards him, something like that. If he has another boost, follow it if you can. Disengage, probably. But you're going to come back before 10 seconds. That's important. He's got that 10-second cooldown if he uses both boosts. So then you just come back and beat him up, and then he'll at most get one dash back. No second boost, finish him off. Try to hit him with the E. Or if he's like, sometimes it's just you have to do these really scrappy chases on Rocket. If he's got like 60 health left, and you're like, dang, I just need 2 punches. You can just like keep super jumping at him and trying to punch. It's really awkward, but it works in times of desperation. And I should have a few clips of that. I think I have the most of Rocket, actually. Yeah, I've got 4 Rocket clips we can take a look at for this video. Although one of them was the old one, so actually I've got 3. So here, yeah, we follow. Okay, this is one of my. I'm actually extremely proud of this clip in general. Wow, it looked different back then. Alright, so I'm slamming on him. This disrupts his movement. I've got exactly 2 punches in before he can dash. Before he's reacted. Well, except then he keeps doing it, so I'm like bursting with a shield. He dashes, but I'm looking at which way he's facing. It's the same thing as Loki. He can only dash in that way. And then I just took him out. Because he didn't go to a wall. Because when you're looking at this Rocket's location, there's not an easily accessible wall. He's in the middle of the path. He shouldn't be there. And because of that, he can't get a dash far away. It's only right there. So I just took him out. Which is crazy. That ends up looking like the craziest clip ever. And then let's take another look. Oh, this is the same clip I had. Okay, yeah. So this is actually the same clip as the Invis clip. So we'll ignore that part. But then Rocket. So, another thing when engaging Rocket, if you already have the shield throws, it's way easier. Like you can see me just go ahead and burst him out like that. And then I didn't want to even aim at his dash, so I just threw the shield to the ground and it works. That's actually not the best educational Rocket one because he didn't try to run away, but it did a little bit, but Alright, I took out Rocket there. Let's figure out where he is. This is another clip from last night. Won this game pretty handedly, I think. Alright, so he ran away. I don't know why he went in there. He was not thinking. To beat him up a little bit. He has 1 dash. See how he didn't go anywhere. I chased him very easily, take him out. Because he wasted 1 of his dashes. Now, if you use 2, that's different. But again, I'm engaging him in a place where I can reach all the high ground. So even if he goes on that thing and wall dashes, there's not a wall next to him, so this is a good time to dive Rocket. And that's why right here, I went for the Rocket and not the Invisible Woman. So Invisible Woman went off to the right. I saw her go invisible from my peripheral. And I went for Rocket because, like, let's say he goes up these stairs like he's trying to, I just follow him. If he goes up to the high ground up top right, I just follow him. I can just, like, do a little bit of parkour and make that with ease. So, Keep that in mind when you're fighting Rocket. How is he escaping? I think that's actually all of our clips from that. Yes, it is. All right, cool. So keep that in mind when you're fighting Rocket. You can follow him with one dash. He doesn't get away that easily anymore. All right. Ultron. All right, hardest difficulty. His priority for me is worth a shot in the right spot. Most of the time, I'm going to be honest, you just ignore Ultron, try to get the other support. However, there are times when you can dive Ultron, and so we'll get to that. Notes, he flies, and he flies fast. He flies fast. That's a big problem. If you're fighting a character like Iron Man or Storm that doesn't really fly that fast, you can actually track them with shield throws pretty well. We'll go over that in the Duelist video. Ultron, this is not so. Ultron is, yeah, no, he's very fast, and he gives himself over shield, so very difficult to hit with these shield throws. He has incredible self-sustain, considering the fact he flies. He can give himself over shields in 2 different ways, and he can hover close to the person he has the drone on to heal himself. And it's really hard to track his cooldowns, and even if you do track his cooldowns, you only have 8 seconds. And during that 8-second cooldown, he has... No, he doesn't. The movement boost is not... I think it's 8 seconds after it ends. So actually, you do have 8 seconds, but it's not very much time. And it's not the same thing as Adam's 6 seconds where he can't go anywhere in that time. So yeah. He has high damage. If he's shooting at you, you need to keep that in mind, even if you're diving somebody else. You'll be able to tell because it's a massive laser. Really good at supporting dive targets. Overtime heals and overshield means disengage. If you're fighting a strategist, you have to do it very quickly before Ultron realizes, because he's going to give them an overshield that's going to take you 2 or 3 hits to break, and then he's going to give them overtime healing. Going to be really hard to burst somebody through that, especially on your own. However, if your team is helping you, who knows? All in all, if he's paying attention to you, very good at countering Captain America, and that's important if he's paying attention to you, because a lot of Ultrons, they have a lot to look at. They might not notice you if you stay out of his line of sight. So that's why the first think about is, can he see me when I'm diving others? So if you see somebody that's easy to kill, like a Luna, and you're like, Ultron's really high in the air, and then like, there's this ledge, and Luna's under that, diver. If he can't see her, he can't do anything. It is free for you. And it's going to take him time to get to where he can see her, and you might have her low enough to where you can burst it. So keep in mind his line of sights. His line of sights are very important. Is he flying low to the ground? If he's flying low to the ground, it might be worth it to try to hit somebody and get some shield throws off. If he's not flying low to the ground, pretty much no reason to try, because you're just like wasting your time shooting at a bird. But if he's low to the ground, give it a shot. Can I get shield throws off of others? So if Ultron is like by himself up in the air, probably no reason to try to fight him. If he's like somewhat near a tank, that's a big deal. You can punch the tank twice, get your shield throws, and do a little bit of chip damage to Ultron. You might not kill him, but you're going to help your Punisher or whatever kill him, and that's still very valuable. And it's also going to scare him, which is disruptive. And then, yeah, do I have a teammate targeting flyers in Ultron? If you don't have a teammate that's like targeting the flyers, it's much less worth it for you to try to hurt Ultron. If you do, then you might give them the extra 30 damage they need to kill him. Say they get like a hella headshot, and they can't hit him again, and they've got like 60 health left. You can finish 60 health. If you don't have a hella on your team, and you're not shooting at Ultron, then you're probably just wasting your time, and you could try to take out the rest of his team without him doing anything. He's definitely hard, though. If there is a support, that means you need to swap off Cap. It is Ultron. But I think you can definitely work around him with these tips in mind. Generally, you want to dive the other squishies that Ultron cannot see. Usually, game plan is stay out of his line of sight. You don't want him to see you and what you're doing. If he is flying low, you have damage support, you can try. Dive on a tank. Here's my yes tanks, my no tanks. Please, God, do not dive on Emma if she's in diamond form. Do not dive on Groot. Do not dive on Thor. Do not dive on Hulk. Do not dive on Penny. These characters will kill you if you jump on them. And just try to punch them twice and then aim at the sky and not pay attention to them. You can absolutely go punch Strange, Magneto, Captain America, or Emma if she doesn't have diamond form. You can go punch them twice and then just stand next to them. They're not much of a threat to your HP bar most of the time. And then you can shoot at Ultron a little bit. Punch tank twice, throw shields at Ultron. If you can finish him off, try it. If he's next to a wall, just hit the wall. Because otherwise you will not hit him probably. So definitely just hit the wall if he's next to a wall. If you're desperate for 1 or 2 more hits, you can like scrap jump him, like jump and scrappy punch, and then get out with a slam. But like before you land. But again, generally you're not diving Ultron. So how you fight Ultron is not really how you kill Ultron. Kind of that disclaimer at the beginning. In the strategist section, it pretty much only applies to Ultron. All right, here's my priority tier list. If I were you, I would save this for your records or internalize it. They're ordered within tiers. So left is most priority, right is least priority. So you've got Adam, Jeff, Invis, Luna, Mantis, Rocket, Cloak, Loki, Ultron. And, yeah. Loki's, I should note, and Loki's and Cloak's depends on if they have Bubble or High Ground, respectively. No. Cloak is Bubble, Loki's High Ground. There we go. Yeah, so keep that in mind with them. They're higher priority if they don't have their options there. Or, sorry, Loki's higher priority if he is on high ground. Cloak is higher priority if she doesn't have Bubble because you have a high likelihood to kill her. So, that's my priority tier list. Here's my difficulty to kill tier list. This is the same ordered system. Ultron's the hardest. Then Loki, Cloak, Rocket, then Invis, Adam, Mantis, and then Jeff and Luna. Again, Luna's the easiest. Keep these in mind. However, not in a vacuum, like we've discussed, because this is also very important, is how good they are at supporting other dive targets. You've unkillable squishies. That's those first 3. Those first 3 are high prio if they're supporting the other support. And they're also easy to kill, so that's why they're the highest priority. Because they will make the other squishies unkillable. If Adam E or Soul Bond, unkillable. Invis Woman Shield, unkillable. Jeff Stream plus Bubble, unkillable. Then again, but then you've got like, even Loki runes are not as good as those because they are smaller and they're only where Loki is currently standing. But all those have range. So, yeah. Then Substantial is Ultron again. Ultron's a pretty good counter to Cap. Rocket Substantial, Mantis Substantial. Luna's not great. And then those 2 on the bottom, can you see that? I need to move the camera again. There we go. That's easier. Those 2 are kind of volatile. It depends. So that's situational. And they're all situational to an extent, but those are like always situational. And duelist section, that'll be for the next video. So that's what I have on my PowerPoint here. Hopefully this is really helpful information. It should help you to effectively dive every character, complete with the tips, complete with the videos, complete with the tier list that you can look at. Yeah, should be really helpful stuff. Let me change this over. Voice recording. Yeah, it should be really helpful stuff. Tell me if this helped you. Tell me if you love Captain America as much as I do in this game. Let me know if you have any questions. Please ask me questions because I couldn't possibly cover every thought I have on these characters in, a video, however long it ends up being. I think the recording is at an hour now. I couldn't possibly cover all of it in this. I think I did very comprehensively, but feel free to ask me questions. Like, what do I think about certain support comps? When should you swap? Like, how should you approach things? I would love to answer questions. I love Captain America, love helping people. Please let me know. But I do hope that you found my comprehensive strategist, how to fight guide very helpful, and you can take it to your comp games so we can see some more tank mains out there. And if you see me in comp, say hello. JSexy is my tag. But yeah, this has been Wi-Fi DK Legend Productions. Go out, go forth and conquer, and stay sweet.